14 black celebrities whose cosmetic surgery stories ended in tragedy. In the glamorous world of fame and fortune, beauty can be deadly. 14 black celebrities, from superstar rappers to reality TV queens, and even a first lady, chased perfection through cosmetic surgery only to face tragedy, pain, and irreversible regret. Some never came home. Others are still fighting the damage years later. What was supposed to bring confidence destroyed lives instead. Which story will shock you the most? Keep watching as we uncover the dark truth behind the scalpel. Cardi B. At just 21 years old, long before Bodak Yellow made her a global superstar, Cardi B was a young stripper in New York fighting to survive in an industry that rewarded curves above almost everything else. Desperate for a fuller figure that she believed would open doors, she paid $800 for illegal biopolymer butt injections in a basement apartment in Queens. There was no anesthesia, no sterile medical setting, and no licensed doctor. She later described the pain as the craziest pain ever, saying she felt like she might pass out while the injections leaked for days afterward. That single, desperate decision made in fear and insecurity would follow her for more than a decade. Years later, after achieving massive fame, Grammys, and motherhood, the hidden cost finally demanded attention. In August 2022, Cardi underwent surgery to remove 95% of the biopolymers. She continued the process with another round of removals in January 2024, openly sharing that fully reversing the injections often requires multiple procedures. Even as one of the most successful rappers in the world, she has repeatedly warned young women against rushing into illegal or unregulated enhancements, stressing the importance of proper medical checks and the serious health risks involved. Cardi B's story stands as a powerful cautionary tale. A youthful choice made under pressure to fit the image of success can turn into a lifelong battle. What was meant to give her confidence became something she had to fight to undo physically and emotionally. Her transparency transforms personal regret into public education, reminding everyone that no amount of fame or fortune can erase the consequences of risky cosmetic decisions made too early, too cheaply, and without proper care. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams built an empire on her bold personality, sharp tongue, and larger-than-life presence on daytime television. For years, she was the queen of hot topics, unafraid to speak her mind or laugh at herself. While millions watched her dominate The Wendy Williams Show, she was also surprisingly open about her efforts to maintain the polished, camera-ready image the industry demanded. She publicly admitted to undergoing liposuction, a tummy tuck, and breast implants. In January 2020, she even broadcast footage of herself receiving jawline Botox, turning the procedure into entertainment and making cosmetic work appear almost casual. What viewers didn't see was the heavier battle happening beneath the surface. Over time, Wendy began struggling with serious health issues, including Graves' disease and lymphedema conditions that affected her body far more deeply than any cosmetic procedure. As her show eventually went off the air and public concern grew, the true extent of her decline became heartbreakingly clear. In 2024, her caretakers announced that Wendy had been diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia, devastating neurological conditions that impact speech behavior and cognitive function. Wendy's story is one of the most tragic in this list because the real damage was never about a single surgery gone wrong. It was about the exhausting pressure to constantly perfect the outside while her internal health was quietly crumbling. She spent years maintaining a glamorous, confident image for the camera, even as her body and mind were fighting much larger battles. The contrast is painful. A woman once known for controlling every conversation slowly lost control of her own voice and memory. Her journey serves as a sobering reminder that no amount of fame, money, or cosmetic tune-ups can protect someone when real health challenges take over. True strength lies not in how perfect the exterior looks, but in caring for the whole person, body, and mind before it's too late. Blac Chyna. Blac Chyna rose to fame with an exaggerated, hyper-curved silhouette that became her signature brand. For years, her dramatic hourglass figure, enhanced breasts, dramatically enlarged buttocks, and sharply sculpted face defined her public image, turning her into a recognizable figure in reality, television, social media, and pop culture. Behind the scenes, however, that look came at a steep price. In interviews, she admitted to undergoing 7 rounds of illegal butt injections earlier in her career. These unregulated procedures helped create the extreme proportions that once brought her attention and financial success. By March 2023, Blac Chyna made a dramatic decision to reverse much of that transformation. She publicly documented the process, undergoing breast reduction, butt reduction, and dissolving the facial fillers that had altered her cheeks, jawline, and lips. She filmed the procedures and recovery in real time, allowing followers to watch her literally undo years of cosmetic work. In candid interviews with Good Morning America and People magazine, she explained that she was tired of the exaggerated look and no longer felt it represented who she truly was. She wanted to return to Angela White, the woman behind the stage name and the persona. The tragedy in Blac Chyna's story lies in how completely the mask of success had overtaken her identity. What started as a tool for visibility and empowerment slowly became a burden she could no longer carry. The very image that helped build her brand eventually made her feel trapped inside a version of herself that no longer felt authentic. She openly spoke about how insecurity and passing trends had driven those earlier choices, admitting the extreme enhancements no longer aligned with her inner self. Her very public reversal sent a powerful message: when the pursuit of an idealized, marketable body consumes you, one day you may have to fight to reclaim the person underneath. Fame and fortune cannot protect anyone from the emotional cost of becoming a stranger to your own reflection. Blac Chyna's journey reminds us that true confidence comes from authenticity, not from the extremes we sometimes build to meet external expectations. Nina Leakes. Nina Leakes became one of the most memorable stars of The Real Housewives of Atlanta thanks to her bold personality, quick wit, and unapologetic confidence. She carried herself with a larger-than-life presence that seemed unbreakable. Yet behind the glamorous on-screen image, Nene was quietly battling the intense pressure of constant public scrutiny that comes with reality television. In 2010, between seasons of the show, she openly admitted to undergoing multiple cosmetic procedures: a nose job liposuction, breast reduction from a DD cup to a D cup, and a breast lift. She described the surgeries as a simple tune-up, saying she was already comfortable in her own skin but wanted to look and feel even better on camera. She even dropped from a size 10 to a size 8. The procedures became part of the show's storyline, turning her personal insecurities into public entertainment. 6 years later, in 2016, Nene returned for a second rhinoplasty. She explained that cartilage in her nose had grown abnormally after the first surgery, causing the tip to touch her upper lip. Even a woman famous for her strength and outspokenness felt compelled to go under the knife again to correct the issue and maintain her appearance. The real tragedy in Nene Leakes' story is not a single catastrophic failure, but the endless cycle of revision. Despite her bold confidence, she still felt the need to keep editing herself to meet the demanding standards of television. The camera never stopped watching, and neither did the pressure to look camera-ready at all times. Her journey highlights a painful truth: even the strongest and most self-assured women can be worn down by the relentless expectations of the entertainment industry. No matter how powerful or successful you become, the message remains the same: you are never quite enough as you are. Nene's repeated procedures serve as a sobering reminder that the pursuit of perfection under constant public scrutiny can become an exhausting, never-ending battle that fame and confidence alone cannot fully protect you from. Latto. Latto was only 21 years old when she signed her major record deal and suddenly found herself under the harsh spotlight of the music industry and social media. What should have been an exciting new chapter quickly turned painful as she gained a small amount of weight. Instead of support, she was hit with waves of cruel online body-shaming comments calling her bad-bodied. The constant negativity got into her head. Feeling pressured to meet the unrealistic beauty standards expected of female rappers, Lotto made a life-altering decision. She underwent a Brazilian butt lift, BBL 360 liposuction, and a breast augmentation. At first, the procedures seemed like a quick fix to silence the critics and boost her confidence. However, the reality proved far more complicated. The surgery did not stop the criticism, it simply changed its form. Years later, even when she posted workout photos, internet trolls continued to attack her, accusing her of having work done and refusing to give her credit for her natural efforts. The very body she altered under pressure became a new target for judgment. Maintaining the results also became its own exhausting job. Lotto later admitted she had to hire a personal trainer just to keep up the look created by the procedures. In interviews, including one with Cosmopolitan, she expressed regret especially about the breast augmentation and warned other young women that surgery is not a permanent solution for insecurity. Once you start fixing one perceived flaw, another often takes its place, creating an endless cycle. Lotto's story powerfully illustrates the dangerous trap set by social media. The same online voices that pushed her toward cosmetic surgery at a young age never intended to be satisfied. What was meant to bring peace only brought new pressure and the constant need to maintain an image that no longer felt entirely her own. Her experience serves as a clear warning. Allowing the internet to dictate your self-worth can lead you down a path of expensive, painful, and ultimately unfulfilling changes, all while the criticism never truly stops. K. Michelle. K. Michelle was a rising R&B singer in the early 2000s when she made a decision that would quietly haunt her for over a decade. Desperate for the exaggerated Coke bottle figure that was trending at the time, she went to an unlicensed injector in Atlanta for black market hydrogel injections in her hips and buttocks. The procedure was cheap, quick, and performed by someone who was not a doctor. For the first 5 years, everything seemed fine on the surface. Her body looked exactly as she had hoped, and the results appeared successful. But the real danger was hidden deep inside. Around 2015 to 2017, the injected hydrogel began to migrate downward through her legs, causing severe complications. K. Michelle started suffering intense migraines, extreme fatigue, back pain, and leg pain. Doctors eventually discovered that the foreign material had spread, damaging tissue and threatening her overall health. What began as a beauty enhancement had slowly turned into a medical nightmare. In January 2018, the situation became critical. She underwent emergency surgery to remove the migrated material through liposuction, but the attempt only made the spread worse. She required 2 blood transfusions, and in April of that year, endured 3 additional surgeries to remove dead and dying tissue. The procedures left her with lumps, significant scarring, and a body that felt disfigured. K. Michelle later described the ordeal as one of the worst decisions of her life and openly admitted how much she regretted chasing that idealized shape. Her story is particularly chilling because the consequences did not appear immediately. The danger remained silent for years before suddenly erupting, showing how some cosmetic risks can hide inside the body for a long time before revealing their true damage. K. Michelle's painful journey serves as a stark warning. Trends that promise quick beauty can carry hidden long-term consequences that no amount of fame or money can easily undo. Sometimes the highest price is paid quietly over many years until it is almost too late to reverse. Tami Roman. Tami Roman first entered the public eye in the 1990s as a cast member on MTV's The Real World. What many viewers didn't know was that her struggle with body image had already begun years earlier during her teenage years. After a modeling agent harshly criticized her body, Tami was diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorder, a mental health condition that caused her to see severe flaws in her appearance even when others did not. This distorted self-perception led her to take extreme measures. At one point, she even had her mouth wired shut in a desperate attempt to lose weight rapidly. As an adult and reality television personality, Tami continued searching for relief from the constant dissatisfaction she felt toward her body. She eventually tried butt injections, hoping they would help her feel more balanced and confident. Instead, the results left her deeply unhappy. She openly stated that she hated the way the injections looked and felt, realizing they had not solved her inner turmoil. The real tragedy in Tammy Roman's story is not a single botched procedure, but a lifelong internal battle. No matter how much she changed on the outside, the voice in her head telling her she was never enough remained loud and unrelenting. Fame and public attention only intensified the pressure, turning her body into a constant battlefield between reality and her distorted self-image. Tammy's experience delivers a powerful and important message. The deepest problems with cosmetic surgery often begin in the mind, not on the operating table. When body dysmorphic disorder or deep-seated insecurity drives the decision, no amount of liposuction injections or enhancements can bring true peace. The knife can alter appearance, but it cannot fix a wounded self-perception. Her story serves as a sobering reminder that healing must start from within. Until the psychological wounds are addressed, external changes will only provide temporary relief or create new sources of regret. True confidence and self-acceptance cannot be bought or surgically created. They must be cultivated from the inside. Dream Doll. Dream Doll entered the spotlight as a model and rapper with a bold, curvaceous image that quickly gained attention in the hip-hop world. Behind the glamorous exterior, however, many of her cosmetic choices were driven by a desire to impress someone else. In a 2019 interview with Allure, she admitted that her decision to get plastic surgery was not the best story, revealing it was done primarily to catch the eye of a man who ultimately wasn't worth the sacrifice. What started as an attempt to feel more desirable soon became a repeated cycle. By 2021, she had already undergone her fourth butt reduction procedure. The larger breasts and exaggerated curves she once chased began to take a physical toll. She suffered from chronic back pain caused by her enhanced chest, and almost nothing off the rack fit her properly, forcing her to have most clothes custom-tailored. The very body she had worked so hard to create eventually became exhausting to live in. In candid conversations, Dream Doll spoke openly about her regret. She missed her natural, smaller chest and admitted she was tired of the maintenance, the discomfort, and the constant attention her silhouette demanded. The image she had built to please someone else no longer brought joy or freedom. It had become a burden she carried every single day. The tragedy in Dream Doll's story runs deeper than physical pain. It lies in how completely she had altered herself for the wrong reasons and the wrong person. Changing your body to impress others often leads to a painful realization. Once that person is gone, you're left alone with a version of yourself you no longer recognize or want. What was meant to bring validation slowly turned into self-imposed exhaustion and disconnection from her natural self. Dream Doll's journey delivers a clear warning: when you reshape your body to meet someone else's standards, you risk losing the relationship with yourself. True peace comes from making changes for your own well-being, not for fleeting approval. Her honest reflections remind us that the heaviest price of cosmetic surgery is sometimes the quiet exhaustion of waking up one day trapped inside a body you created for all the wrong reasons. Countess Vaughn. Countess Vaughn captured hearts as a young actress on the hit 90s sitcoms Moshe and the Parkers. While she brought laughter and energy to the screen behind the scenes, she was quietly enduring painful body shaming that would shape her self-image for years to come. On set, her body was frequently compared to her thinner white co-star. Co-workers and writers made jokes about her size, and scripts often turned her into the fat kid, embedding cruel fat jokes directly into the show. These constant humiliations took a deep toll. Years later, when new opportunities arose, Countess felt the pressure to conform to Hollywood's narrow beauty standards. She eventually underwent liposuction as part of a mommy makeover, dropping dramatically from a size 16 to a size 10. On paper, it looked like a success story, a slimmer figure and a fresh start. In reality, the change carried a much heavier emotional weight. The real tragedy in Countess Vaughn's story was not the surgery itself, but the years of accumulated psychological damage that pushed her toward it. The body shaming from colleagues, the scripted jokes, and the industry's expectation that a black actress needed to look a certain way had convinced her that altering her body was necessary for acceptance and success. Even after the physical transformation, the old wounds of ridicule and feeling not enough did not disappear. Her experience highlights a painful truth: cosmetic surgery is often just the final step, in a long journey of emotional suffering. When body shaming and toxic workplace comments erode a person's self-worth over many years, going under the knife becomes less about vanity and more about survival. Countess Vaughn's story serves as a sobering reminder that the deepest scars are not always visible on the skin. They are carved by years of humiliation and the belief that your natural body must be fixed before you can be fully valued. True healing requires addressing the mental and emotional damage first. No scalpel can erase the pain of being made to feel unworthy in the very industry that once celebrated you. Hazel. Known for her role on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, appeared to be living the glamorous life of a reality star and mother. After giving birth, she wanted to reclaim her pre-pregnancy body and feel confident again. In March 2021, she traveled to Istanbul, Turkey for what seemed like a straightforward mommy makeover, a combination of tummy tuck, breast lift, and liposuction on her double chin. It was supposed to be a refreshing reset, a private gift to herself after the physical changes of motherhood. Instead, the trip quickly turned into a medical nightmare. Almost immediately after the surgery, complications arose. Doctors discovered serious issues linked not only to the new procedures, but also to a previous breast augmentation she had undergone in Mexico back in 2015. The old implants had become problematic, and the new surgery triggered a cascade of troubles. Hazel E. was forced to have her breast implants removed entirely. She required a blood transfusion and had to be transferred to another hospital for emergency care. From her hospital bed, she documented her painful recovery through tearful videos. She spoke openly about feeling exhausted, scared, and helpless in a foreign country far from her support system. As a mother, she expressed deep guilt and emotional distress over the ordeal, realizing how quickly a decision meant to restore her confidence had spiraled into a serious health crisis. Hazel E.'s story is especially sobering because it shows how one reset procedure can awaken problems from years earlier. What was intended as a simple way to feel like herself again ended up exposing the hidden risks of past cosmetic work done in unregulated settings. Her experience serves as a powerful warning: cosmetic surgery decisions are never truly isolated. Old procedures can lie dormant for years, only to create dangerous complications when new work is added. The tragedy lies in the sudden loss of control, leaving home, hoping for renewal, only to return physically altered, emotionally drained, and painfully reminded that the pursuit of a better body can come at an unexpectedly high cost. Donda West. Donda West was far more than just the mother of superstar Kanye West. A respected English professor and former chair of the Department of English Communications, Media, and Theater at Chicago State University, she was an accomplished, intelligent, and deeply loved woman who had supported her son's rise to fame with strength and grace. At 58 years old in November 2007, Donda chose to undergo elective cosmetic surgery in Los Angeles, a breast reduction, liposuction, and tummy tuck. The combined procedures lasted about 5.5 hours. She was discharged the same day and returned home to recover. What was meant to be a personal step toward feeling more confident and comfortable in her body ended in unimaginable tragedy. The very next day, on November 10, 2007, Donda was found unresponsive in her bed. She was rushed to a hospital, but could not be saved. The Los Angeles County Coroner's report stated that she died from pre-existing coronary artery disease combined with multiple post-operative factors. The death was not caused by a single surgical error, but by the dangerous collision between hidden heart issues and the physical stress of major elective surgery. Her passing sent shockwaves through the entertainment world and beyond. In direct response to Donda's death, California passed the Donda West Law in 2009. The legislation requires patients to undergo a full physical examination and receive medical clearance from a physician before any elective cosmetic procedure can be performed, a lasting safety measure born from one family's devastating loss. Donda West's story is particularly heartbreaking because she was not chasing fame or an unrealistic ideal. She was a mature, educated mother simply seeking to feel better in her own skin. Yet even someone as grounded and loved as Donda could not escape the very real medical risks that come with cosmetic surgery. Her death stands as a sobering reminder that no amount of intelligence, success, or family support can fully protect a person when hidden health conditions meet the physical demands of invasive procedures. The tragedy lies in how quickly a private decision turned into permanent loss, proving that the price of trying to perfect the outside can sometimes be far too high. Tamika Foster. Tamika Foster, former partner of R&B superstar Usher and mother of his two sons, was living much of her life in the public eye. Just 2 months after giving birth to their second child in late 2008, she made a decision. Many new mothers can understand. She wanted to get her pre-pregnancy body back. In February 2009, she traveled to Sao Paulo, Brazil for what she expected to be a straightforward stomach liposuction. What happened next became one of the most frightening stories in this series. Before the surgeon could even walk into the operating room or make a single incision, Tamika went into cardiac arrest while under anesthesia. In an instant, a routine cosmetic procedure turned into a life-threatening emergency. Medical staff quickly revived her, placed her in a medically induced coma, and rushed her to intensive care at Hospital Sírio-Libanês, one of Brazil's top hospitals. The liposuction was never performed. The near-death experience shook Tamika to her core. Years later, in a 2024 interview, she revealed how that terrifying moment completely changed her approach to her body. She walked away from surgical shortcuts and committed instead to natural methods, strict dieting, intermittent fasting, and consistent exercise. She proudly shared that she had lost 20 pounds through these healthier habits without risking her life again. Tamika Foster's story is especially chilling because the tragedy struck before the surgery even began. It proves a harsh reality. The dangers of cosmetic surgery are not limited to what happens on the operating table. Anesthesia alone carries serious risks, especially for a woman whose body is still recovering from childbirth. Her experience serves as a powerful warning. The decision to change your body can end in catastrophe even before the first cut is made. Sometimes the greatest form of self-love is knowing when to stop and protect the life you already have for yourself and for your children. Stella Obasanjo. Stella Obasanjo was not an ordinary patient. As the First Lady of Nigeria in 2005, she represented dignity, grace, and national pride beside her husband, President Olusegun Obasanjo. At 59 years old, she traveled discreetly to the exclusive molding clinic in Marbella, southern Spain, for what Nigerian newspapers described as a tummy tuck and liposuction, a private procedure to refine her appearance while her husband was still in office. The surgery ended in tragedy. During the liposuction, a surgical tube was mistakenly inserted into her abdominal cavity. It punctured her colon and lacerated her liver, causing catastrophic internal bleeding. As her condition rapidly deteriorated, the surgeon reportedly failed to answer his mobile phone. Instead of calling an ambulance for urgent transport, Stella was placed in the back seat of the doctor's personal car and driven to the hospital. She was declared dead shortly after arrival, despite resuscitation efforts. The scandal erupted internationally. 4 years later, in 2009, Spanish courts convicted the plastic surgeon Antonio Mina Molina of negligent homicide. He received a 1-year suspended sentence, was banned from practicing medicine for 3 years, and was ordered to pay compensation to Stella's son. What makes Stella Obasanjo's story especially haunting is the stark contrast between her immense power and status and the undignified way her life ended. As one of the most influential women in Nigeria, she had access to wealth protection and the best resources the world could offer, yet none of it could save her from a single careless mistake inside an operating room. The image of a first lady being rushed in a private car instead of a medical emergency vehicle remains deeply disturbing. Her death serves as the ultimate reminder in this series. No title, no wealth, and no political power can protect someone once a preventable medical error occurs during cosmetic surgery. Even those at the very top of society remain vulnerable when they place their lives in the hands of others inside the operating theater. Stella Obasanjo's tragic end proves that in the pursuit of beauty, the highest position offers no immunity. Kanya Mbao. Kanya Mbao, the South African actress, media personality, and reality star, has long been known for her dramatic and ever-evolving appearance. In 2017, she underwent liposuction and breast revision as she openly pursued an hourglass figure she described as a 22-year-old looking body. For years, her heavily enhanced look, including multiple breast augmentations and body contouring, became part of her public brand. However, the maintenance grew exhausting. She frequently relied on Botox and fillers every 3 months to keep her face camera-ready. By 2024, Kanye decided she wanted a more permanent solution. She traveled to Turkey and underwent blepharoplasty eyelid surgery to remove excess skin and a subnasal lip lift to reshape her upper lip. She shared her swollen post-surgery photos on social media and famously declared that she had bought a new face, saying goodbye to the constant cycle of temporary injectables. The real tragedy in Kanye Mbao's story lies in the endless pursuit. Despite her bold personality and success, she remained trapped in a cycle of revision after revision. Each procedure was driven by the intense pressure of the entertainment industry and societal beauty standards, particularly those faced by darker-skinned women who often feel they must work harder to remain visible and relevant. What began as enhancements for confidence slowly turned into a full-time job of maintaining an image that never felt completely finished. Her journey highlights a painful reality. No matter how many times you upgrade your face or body, the finish line keeps moving further away. The mirror never stops demanding the next correction. Kanye's candid admission of buying a new face reveals the emotional toll, the constant swelling recovery periods, and the quiet exhaustion of never feeling done. Her story serves as a powerful warning in this series. When cosmetic surgery is driven by external pressure rather than inner peace, you risk spending years chasing a version of yourself that can never truly be caught. True freedom often comes not from another procedure, but from learning to stop editing and start accepting the person beneath the changes. These 14 stories reveal a harsh truth. Even the most famous, wealthy, and powerful Black celebrities are not immune to the devastating risks of cosmetic surgery. From sudden death and life-threatening complications to years of regret, chronic pain, and identity loss, the pursuit of an ideal body often came at an unbearable cost. Fame and fortune offered no protection. Which of these tragedies hit you the hardest? And do you believe the pressure from society and social media is truly to blame, or are these ultimately personal choices with consequences we must accept?